Hi everyone and welcome back to the Chasing Past Golf Podcast. We're in this episode, I'm joined by current LPGA Tour player and LET card holder at the same time, Polly Mack. Hi Polly, how are you?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, currently I'm good. I mean, I was just saying there that I'm still kind of recovering from the effects of a bad cough, a bad cold, etc. But that's the joys of living in Scotland, you know?
That's right.
So you're currently in Florida. I believe you were telling me off there it's just a cool 30 degrees Celsius. How's that treating?
That's right. Yeah, it's lovely here in the winter time. It's just about right now in April. I guess we're just starting into April. It's nice. It's perfect weather. I love the 30 degrees. Once it gets hotter than this, it gets a little sticky, and especially with the humidity, it gets exhausting to practice, very tiring. But right now, I'm enjoying the good weather, and yeah, I'll have to be home right now.
So, as of today, have you got much practice in beforehand? Like, obviously, it's currently 3:17 in the afternoon, Florida time. So, have you managed to get any practice?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I would say every day looks a little different for me. I kind of schedule my practices differently, especially because on tour, we also have different tee times, right? We got to be ready in the mornings really early. We got to be ready in the afternoon tee time. So that's how I try to practice or schedule my practices a little different every day, just to always be ready for change. But yeah, I already practiced this morning. I'm kind of working on some putting stuff at the moment. I've got 2 new putters that I'm currently trying to work out, and just figuring out what fits. So I've spent a lot of time this morning on the putting green from maybe like 8:30 to 1:30 maybe, and I was in the zone, so I was just hanging out in the putting green for a while.
So currently, out of the 2 new putters, have you got a favourite, or are they both like working as good as each other? Or
To be fair, they're very much the same except for the shaft lean and the grip. So it's just one's 2% forward shaft lean or 2 degrees, and one's a straight shaft basically, and then the grip's a little different. So I'm just feeling what feels more. I'm trying to feel what feels more natural for my swing, and also changing a little bit in my swing for my putting. So yeah.
So you've just come off a pretty mental swing of events, to be honest. Like in terms of like traveling around the world, I think you were joking about that all fair, but like I'll let you take the floor. But like over these past 4 or 5 weeks, just how crazy is the stretch of golf?
Yeah, this was probably my craziest travel yet. I mean, we golfers always kind of have to be ready to travel the world, right? And that's what we do. But and I knew this year was gonna be a little different looking than the last 2 years of my pro life, because I got both cards. But this is the first year I only have conditional status, I guess, on LPGA, but full status on LET Tour. So my plan going into the year was playing every LPGA event that I get into, maybe play a Monday if I have time for it. Other than that, fill it up with LET events. And so far, I mean, I've played a Monday in the beginning of the year and got into Bradenton, so that was great. Then planned on playing all 3 events in Australia and hopefully get into that Phoenix event on LPGA afterwards. So yeah, I was getting ready to fly to Australia. Had everything ready, everything packed. It was going to be 3 weeks in Australia with LET, and I was kind of making it like an Instagram story time to like having people ask me questions about what I'm excited about for Australia, getting everybody pumped, not just myself. Yeah. So I'm sitting on the plane to Brisbane. Luckily I had Wi-Fi, at least for text messages. And yeah, wake up from a long nap on the plane and about to land like 3 hours later. And got text messages that I just got into China for LPGA that same week. So I was on the plane traveling to Brisbane, knowing that I now have to reroute basically to China, to Hainan Island. Luckily, I would say I was already in the right section in the world which still sounds crazy to probably every normal person out there. But yeah, I was touching down in Brisbane Sunday morning after, gosh, I don't even know how many hours of travel. I left Florida Friday afternoon, got there Sunday morning with that time change by 7:30 a.m. Started booking my flights at 9 a.m. Did the immigration thing, everything, knowing that I wouldn't stay in Australia. Had my flights booked for that night, but that was the first time I would spend a day in a country that I didn't know. However, I wasn't really sure if there's like daytime hotels and stuff because I would only spend like the day there, not the night. So it felt weird. So decided I would just, hang out. And my caddy was there and we just had a great day, 15 hours in Brisbane. Well tired, but that was okay. And then I just hopped back into the airplane at midnight that night to go to Hong Kong and then lay over and then go to Hainan Island. Got there by Monday afternoon. Yeah. That's how it all started.
May. And I mean, I know all professional golfers have to be on edge at every point, like in case of like late invites or like stuff like that. But that seems a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I was kind of prepared that this year was kind of going to be like that, like have flights backup booked, like have different options booked just in case. Make sure you always have 1 or 2 flights available. But this was definitely a good example of a crazy stretch. I did go back to Australia right after China, played the second and third week there in Coffs Harbour in Sydney or nearby Sydney. And then flew straight from Sydney to Phoenix for my 4th event in a row, then back in Arizona in the States. So yeah, I was definitely tired coming back this last Monday, but it was definitely worth it too. It was great, really cool, fun trip. I mean, I don't know, I feel like I've seen so many things in the last 4 weeks that some people don't even experience in their lifetime. So that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised you're even on this podcast right now, given the amount of travel you've just done over the past 4 or 5 weeks. Like, when it comes to like obviously dealing with all the flights and all the jet lag and stuff, like, how would you best cope with that?
Well, I try to sleep on planes, but I know a lot of people can, and I can only sleep on planes if I'm really, really tired. I still fly economy most of the time, so I'm sitting upright, which is not great. But the best thing you can do is you get to the place, like your destination, and you go by the time immediately that's there. You don't think backwards. You never think about the time that it would have been at the place you left. You just go forward from there. If you need a nap, take a nap, but really just not more than an hour or 2. Shower, refresh. And if you have to survive the day, basically. Don't make the mistake of, going to sleep or getting comfortable right away. Like, make sure you only go to sleep when it's nighttime there. And I feel like that's the best time to adjust, or the best, solution.
So, like, I believe you were saying off air as well that you absolutely adore your bed as well. So that must be okay. That must be great. Like trying to, well, obviously with the jet lag and stuff, you can get to sleep straight away, sleep forever, then wake up eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for me is I have no problem then sleeping in a bed for 9 to 10 hours if I'm tired. I mean, sometimes, honestly, after that long of a travel, I could probably even sleep like 11 hours or so. So at least I'm a long sleeper, and that helps in cases of having to recover quickly. So I just take that time, go to sleep at 8, sleep as long as I need to in the next morning, unless I have something going on right away, and get going. And then take naps midday if needed, but usually I try to just push through the first day there.
So in the rediverted route to China that you ended up taking on the LPGA Tour, you actually made the weekend of the Blue Bay LPGA. Probably even by your own standards, like in terms of not the weekend really that you were looking for, but like how would you assess your performance in China?
Overall good. So one other crazy thing I did I was messing around with my grip a little bit before heading on that 4-week stretch. And usually that's not something I'd probably recommend. But yeah, I heard someone talking about like overlap grip versus interlock grip. And I've gripped interlock my entire life. I've never gripped differently since I'm a child. Like maybe had that baseball grip in the first few years of my life, but I was like 5 years old at that point, right? Like that doesn't really count. But once I started playing tournaments, I had that interlock grip and never even thought about a different thing until maybe the week before heading out to the tournaments. And I changed to, well, I had a couple swings that week before that travel with a overlap grip just for fun to see. And I've always had like club face rotation issues through my swing. Like my upper body would get a little lazy and my hands would flip. So that really helped keeping my hands more steady. So I could tell my swing coach really liked it, but didn't want to tell me, like, he wouldn't want me to change it the week before a tournament stretch, right? Like he would say good swings, he would say it's a good drill to do, but do whatever you're comfortable with. So landing in China, playing my practice round, and I'm on the range and I'm just messing around a little bit. And it got really windy there. I mean, usually China, Hainan Island, it's like right at the water. It gets really, really windy. You just want to hit a really consistent ball flight there. And so yeah, I just started playing with a overlap grip, and it really worked out. So I did that for every club except for the driver, because with the driver I felt like I needed more like maybe like grip in general, like more contact with the club. But yeah, I played overlap that week, the entire week, with everything but the driver. And it worked really good. I really liked it overall. It was a good long game week, I would say. I mean, a couple bad swings here and there, but that happens in the wind, especially. Putting was okay. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't like my best round yet, but it was a decent week, I would say. I came back good from that first round, made the cut on the number. Made some birdies here and there. Yeah.
And then straight from China, you go back to Australia. So on the LET, obviously because of Cyclone Alfred, that kind of ravaged through Queensland and New South Wales. So the first event actually got postponed. Luckily, that was the same week you were in China, wasn't it? So like you would have. So to be honest, when you think of that now, you're like, maybe I am lucky that I kind of got into China, but then obviously you went back to Australia, and the green staff at Coffs Harbour done a brilliant job to get any tournament golf up and running after the cyclone that happened. So like. For the final 2 weeks of the Australian swing, so the Australian Women's Classic at Coffs Harbour and the Ford New South Wales Open at Wollongong, what were them experience like? Well, in general, to be honest, like when it came to Australia?
Yeah, I would say Coffs Harbour was another different week for me, just because first of all, yes, I would love to thank the team of Coffs Harbour Golf Club and the maintenance crew that we were able to play in the end. It did not look like it. In the beginning of the week, it was all wet. The whole course was underwater. It was an incredible job done by everybody involved. So that was great that we got to play. It was pushed from 4 rounds to 3 rounds, still a cutoff to 2. And it was that bad that we couldn't even play a practice round the day before. So no pro-am or nothing. So nobody had actually played the course of us players, which was wild. So I got there and we were only allowed to walk the course and putt on the greens at least on Thursday Thursday midday, I think. So yeah, that was a different type of practice round, especially for me being more like I'm a visual person. I need to play a course, especially my long game. I feel like I need to see a shot before I hit it. That made it a little difficult. So I had trouble there the first round. It was technically an easy golf course. Nothing where I should generally shoot over par, I would say. So it was a bummer that first round really didn't work out for me, but bounced back a little bit that second round, felt a little more comfortable after having played that course finally in the first round. And I had at least like a good second, third round and finished good. So that was okay. And moved on to Wollongong. Beautiful golf course right at the water, really great views, loved it there. Unfortunately, few stupid mistakes on the strategy play that got me in trouble and made me miss the cut by one and didn't have my putter game on, which was a bummer. Definitely lost a lot of shots on the putting green as well. So yeah, just not my week there, I guess.
Yeah, at Wollongong, certainly by the pictures on the screen, it looked like it was from a postcard. To be honest, like it was just picturesque, right by literally the golf course, right by the beach and stuff. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Obviously, with it being beside the beach as well, that was quite windy as well. So I imagine that was like a little bit of a difficult challenge, but I mean. It wasn't a difficult challenge for Mimi Rhodes at the end, but like it seemed like Mimi done pretty well. But
right.
no, like what was your so what was your outlook on Wollongong? Was that a place that you enjoyed?
Yes, absolutely beautiful place. Really cool. I love the fact that they didn't actually have a range, but they had a public park nearby and they mowed down the grass at this park and made it a golf range for us. It was incredible. I don't even know how that worked out. They fenced it up for us. It was about 230 meters long, I would say, from where we were heading to the end, which is not quite enough. So we did hit a couple of shots over the fence, but that was okay. The park was like going on behind it. And we had volunteers picking the balls by hand. So that was just incredible. So again, another shout out to them for making this possible. I've never seen it before, and I thought that was just a great idea and really great job by the volunteers there. But back to the golf course, yeah, just incredible views. Honestly, sometimes a little distracting just because you would keep looking at the water at shots when you were waiting, like especially the holes right by the ocean, and it's that close that you can literally just move on to the beach. Like we actually did. I don't know if I should tell this story, but I had one really bad shot, drive of a par 4 that's literally just parallel to the ocean, or to the beach, and blocked it right. So we were taking the path down right, and we were like my caddy with the tour bag and me with my golf shoes walking on the beach looking for this golf ball. I was really hoping, because they said it in the fact sheet that it was not out of bounds on the beach, so I could have played it if we had found it, and I would have. But unfortunately, we didn't find that little white ball, so I had to play my provisional ball. But that would have been quite the story. But still is a story. We were just taking a little walk on the beach.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like if I can only imagine if you had to play a shot or literally from the sand on the on the beach, I imagine it would gain pretty much big interest. Like there'd be a big crowd just trying to watch you, trying to navigate. But I was going to quickly joke actually when you said that a few balls went over the fence. It wasn't you by any chance, was it?
Might have been me, yeah, most likely. Especially got in trouble. Yeah, so they did know that there were a couple of balls behind the fence, so they were actually picking balls behind the fence one time, and I didn't realize they were behind the fence. I thought I was in clear, them picking the balls in front of the fence, but I couldn't see. And I hit like one over the fence really close to one of those poor volunteers. And my caddy and I looked at each other and were like, oh gosh, I think that was like too close. He's fine. No worries. Didn't hit him. All good. I went in a different direction afterwards. But yeah, that was definitely a carryable fence. That was always a little fun in the mornings, just, messing with it.
Yeah, obviously that was that was a special mention too. Obviously, you were the 2023 LPGA Tour longest driver on tour. Obviously, that was me just making a lot of fun of that, but definitely. Yeah, actually, sorry, just going on about obviously being the LPGA longest driver for 2023. When did you first discover that you could hit the ball a fair distance? Like what kind of age range were you? Because have you always had the ability to hit very long?
It's not something that just comes out of nowhere, right? It's not like I wake up in the morning and here I am hitting the ball 250. So it definitely came with the growing of the game, basically having the same consistent swing coach that really was invested in us juniors hitting the ball far early on. And then introducing the gym workouts, the right workouts into it. But I always had the ability of a fast hip movement, like hip turn movement. That really, really helped this. And I always talk about, or not always, but sometimes I ask my swing coach, who is still my swing coach, what he saw in me when I was little, because we first started working together when I was 8. And he said he saw my potential early on in my swing, the high rotational speed in the body. And so, yeah, he basically just made everything possible to really use my speed to my advantage. Me and the other girls and boys that I've grown up with, that he practiced with as well, we were all pretty much longer hitters compared to the field. Just because we were young, and my coach, his name is Gregor Tillich, he's also German. He always knew that would be an advantage in the game of golf, not just for the men, but especially for the women. So very, very thankful there for him that I had him with me early on and still with me. And then just with about the age with 14, 15, I would just, hit it far, but everywhere on the course. I would probably not be the most fun person to play with because people always had to look for balls for me. It was a little wild. But once it started coming together, 2016, when I was 17, probably was the first year where I started really having good results. The game started coming together, approaches were better. Started winning my first tournaments, Ladies German National Championship, amongst others, and then went off to college and learned how to score as well.
So, without really any facts and figures here, I've got written down. I don't have it written down actually, but so on average, what would you say is your probably average distance wise, for the year, 270, 280, something like that?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to say because we go to different places. Like in Phoenix, the ball flies 10 meters further with the driver automatically, right? Just because of the dry heat, but also because of the elevation mainly. So it just depends about the place where we go, especially with total driving distance too, with how wet or dry the course is, how the bounces are. I would say the stats for driving distance that we have on tour are not quite accurate, just because we only have 2 driving distance holes around that are marked off in the beginning, and sometimes those might not even be a driver hole for me. So I hit a 2-iron and it counts as a driver. It just messes with it a little bit. Sometimes a 3 would, sometimes not even that, But yeah, my average driving distance, I would say carry, maybe 248 to 50 meters. That would be 275 yards. Then with rollout, the good ones get to 300, maybe just past 300. Yeah.
No, that's fair play. That's that's decent length. I mean, I think between you, Volta Vilap, and Natalia Guseva, you might have a good exhibition of let's see who can hit furthest the most. I think that would be quite fun. Like just a lot of competition between you three. But,
yeah, actually, I was just paired with Emily Peterson and Bianca Pagdanganan and in Phoenix these last two rounds, or first two rounds in the tournament. That was quite the flight, just because we all three are bombers, and it was just really fun to watch and see what the others are doing, what their strategies on the course, and just definitely all three of us hit the ball very, very good.
Like I know in the LPGA Tour compared to the LET, obviously it's more serious and stuff. But like, do you ever like say you just said there that you were with Emily Pedersen and who's the other one again? Oh, Dan. But like just like, do you ever say to each other like before the round, or let's just have fun and see who can outdrive each other all day, every day? Like, like, do you ever have a little bit of fun with it?
More likely in the practice round, I would say. That would be more something for the practice round to mess around with. In the tournament, we are more serious about, like, comes down to just, focusing on your game and your strategy. However, I did also play a round or two here and there with Maria Fassi. She definitely gets a little competitive about it, and it's fun and it's cool. It's like, we walk up to the ball, we look at each other, we're like, oh yeah, got you by two, or you got me by two. That's definitely always fun playing with her too.
Wow, some Fassi bombs.
Yes.
Fassi bombs. I mean, she's made quite a nickname from it, to be honest. Like, literally, whenever you think of Maria Fassi now, you're like, oh, let's get ready for some Fassi bombs.
Yeah, she's definitely incredible in marketing herself and making a name of herself. And she's just as incredible in person. Very, very great. Very great to learn from, to look up to. She's great.
So, just taking it back to obviously the decision to go to college in the States. So, first of all, you went to the University of Nevada. So, like, was it near Las Vegas at all? So,
it was pretty much right in the center of Las Vegas. Yeah.
I mean, was that a little bit of a distraction? The bright lights of Vegas, like right next to the university.
It felt a little unreal when I first moved to Vegas. I couldn't believe that I was gonna go to college in Vegas after having spent a casual life for 17, 18 years in Germany. It was honestly, Vegas was also the first city I visited in the States, because that was my official visit there. So yeah, it was quite unreal. I'm very thankful to my parents that they trusted me with this decision, and that they were okay with me just moving to Vegas with 18. I mean, a lot can happen there, right? When I was 18, I wasn't really legal in the States with anything but playing golf, I guess, and going to college. So, which is probably a good thing. I mean, yeah, there was no distractions because I couldn't really legally do anything. That was could be distracting much. So, yeah, just lived a somewhat normal freshman year, I would say, and then moved off campus onto the golf course my sophomore year with our freshmen, our local freshmen, and it was 2 really cool years. I'm really, really happy that I've got to experience those 2 years in UNLV, and wouldn't change it for the world. It was a great start out.
And then what was the decision to go to the University of Alabama after?
Yeah, I mean, I achieved a lot in my freshman year already. I became freshman and player of the year in the Mountain West Conference right away, which was incredible. I'm really proud of that. And this moved up in the rankings really quickly there. So I just wanted to get to that next level. I wanted to keep pushing myself. I got comfortable at UNLV. Things were easy going for me there. And I just wanted to get that next push, like the next level, the next challenge for me. So I was just looking for options and I talked to the Alabama coaches and they were really, really great on the phone. I had a really good first feeling right out of, the first phone call, visited there in person a couple weeks later and loved the team, loved the facilities, the golf facilities. I loved having a home facility too. I think that was a big deal for me to just be able to call a facility your home and not be bothered by other people, but also just, you can go out there whenever and go get your practice and it's just the team and you and the coaches and have a really cool recovery center and just athletics in general is just so big there and you're such appreciated as an athlete. So I thought that was a really cool step up and just a really cool next chapter.
So how pivotal in your amateur career were the University of Alabama? Obviously, when you look at the results, you achieved the NCAA one as well in 2022 to then go into the NCAA Division 1. Like in terms of, the right guidance, etc., like were they kind of monumental in a way, like in terms of your progress? I made a meal of that, but yeah, I hope you get what I'm...
Yeah, no, absolutely. They were huge. I think this decision to transfer, even though it wasn't an easy one, like I said, it was comfortable at UNLV and I had great friends there and I was super happy there. Transferring was hard. I think I cried the day I decided to transfer. It was definitely not easy. But once I got settled in Alabama, I knew it was the right decision. I transferred with the one and only thought of wanting to become a better golfer and having that chance at becoming a pro golfer at some point and getting that good that I could become a pro golfer. And really proud of that decision. I'm really glad my coach pushed me into that decision a little bit as well. I have not done that by myself. And I really learned how to score on the course, not just play, but actually score well on the course while I was in Alabama. The coaches taught me so much about like drills and we always joked around, but it's actually true. I learned how to play boring golf in Alabama, which isn't a bad thing. It's the opposite. It's a great thing because I always thought, I gotta hit the driver. I gotta make the best out of my distances. And then I'll figure out how to hit a 40, 50 yard wedge into the green somehow to a short pin behind the bunker. But now I learned, okay, I actually found a safe club that I carry around. That's the 2-iron. And I just hit that off short par 4s. If the pin is tucked or just not quite my distance once I hit the tee shot. So let's say short par 4, I would hit my 2-iron. I would leave myself a comfortable 70 to 80 meters into the short tuck pin. And I would be comfortable hitting a full wedge with enough spin that I can actually spin it right next to the pin. Things like that. I just learned how to play strategically, more simple, have less of a heart attack on the course. Definitely learned a lot from the coaches and just very, very thankful they took me in and dealt a little bit with my craziness there.
Yeah, and what would you say is your kind of fondest memories from, like, obviously being involved in the NCAA stuff? Like, obviously winning an NCAA event is a very, very good achievement. Have you got any fond memories from that?
Absolutely. I always think back. So the first tournament I won for Alabama individually was that Georgia event the week or a couple weeks before the NCAA regionals. And I feel like that was always sitting right around the corner, but didn't quite happen just yet until then. And it felt great to be contributing for the team and winning an individual event finally again after having left UNLV. And just with such a bigger competition out there, right, with the SEC teams around and really great names out there that are partly on tour now as well. And yeah, that was really, really cool. And then moving on to NCAA regionals, playing in Tennessee. And there's quite a crazy story behind that tournament as well. I started that tournament round, the first round, hitting the first shot just completely into the bad stuff on the left, high rough. Found the ball, had to drop it, made a really good double out of it. And when I mean good double, it was a good double in the end. And then moved on with another bogey the next hole. So I was 3 over after 2 holes. And I was so bummed. I was like, what am I doing here? I need to contribute to the team, to the scores. I want to go to nationals my last year. Like, this can't be it. So kind of, got my mindset right after 2 holes. I was like, okay, get your shit together. And bounced back to even par after 9 holes. I made, I think, 2 birdies on the next par 5s and maybe 1 more on the par 4. And yeah, I was back to even par after 9. I was like, okay, this is better. Had a good birdie chance on 10, missed a 12-footer, but it was close. Made par 11, same thing, had a 12-footer, missed it just on the corner, made par. And then on the next hole, I thought I had to go 2 club lengths back to have that perfect number for the shot on a par 3. It was actually just like 5 or 6 foot short of a hole-in-one. It was like right on line, or maybe even closer, maybe 4 feet short of a hole-in-one. So it was really close. I made that birdie on 12, moved on to 13, birdie, 14, birdie, 15, par 5, I think second on the green, birdie, 16, tough breaker, I think, or something. Actually, I know, 16, par 3, made birdie from the French, 17, birdie, and then 18, par 5, birdie. Had 7 birdies in a row and shot 7 under that round after starting 3 over. I think that scorecard went viral, I think that night or the day after. It was wild. And that's not it. I ended up having food poisoning or something like it after the second round. I was leading in the tournament. Had to go to the ER after that second round. Yeah, I definitely kept my coaches on foot. That's definitely true. That's what I meant with crazy in the beginning. We got everything straight. I was fine. Yeah, I ended up playing that third round and won the tournament in the end. So that was great, but definitely a wild tournament and story to tell.
I mean, well, to be honest, to finish with what, as you were saying there, 7 birdies in a row. I mean, that takes some going.
Yeah, that was cool. I feel like that's always in the back of my mind, and I honestly should think about that tournament more, just because it makes me realize how things are always possible, right? Even when they don't seem like it, even when you start out bad, you can always turn things around as long as you have the right mindset for it, as long as you're able to forget the past and move on and stay in the here and now and do the best you can in that moment. And that's what I did. And yeah, it's a good example for the future.
Is that the biggest sequence of birdies that you've had, either in your career or just like in practice rounds and stuff? Like seven birdies in a row. Is that a record?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So no 8 birdies in a row or 9 birdies in a row?
No, none yet. I don't think. At least I don't think so. Yeah, I think 7 was the most.
We'll just save that for I don't know, the LPGA Meyer Classic or the ShopRite or something like that.
Right.
Well, to be fair, actually, if Linnea Strum can, shoot a 60 on the final day to win, anything's possible. So there you go.
Absolutely, that was an incredible day as well. I mean, wow, that was insane, but that was so deserved. That was so cool to see.
So obviously you turned pro in 2022. I take it that was an easy decision for yourself, and then obviously at first you got Epson Tour status as well, and I believe you made 8 cuts and 11 starts. I think it was in 2022, something like that.
Possible. I haven't really looked at those stats in a hot minute, but that sounds about right. Yeah.
What did you have to learn, obviously, to go from, collegiate golf, high level collegiate golf to professional level golf on the Epson Tour? Like, is there anything that you needed to learn, like, specifically?
In that exact moment, I think it was just like getting used to the new lifestyle as quick as possible, because the difference was that I played Q School while I was still in college, which was still possible then in 22 or 21. So I played Q School end of 21, made it to the last stage. Didn't get my LPGA card, which was probably the better case, because I wanted to finish out my college spring year in college and play one more nationals for the team. So I had my Epson status in the back, right, or in the backpack, and then could just jump on Epson whenever. And I think that was the easier case than having to worry about like missing out on LPGA that half a year, or like making a last minute switch of decisions and jumping on LPGA right away and missing out on that last semester in college. So I think that was the best case. And in my case, jumped on tour in June, played a few events up in Michigan, then went back to Germany, got an invite for the Berlin LET event, which was huge because it was the first time in forever that they had a ladies European event in Germany and in Berlin, my hometown, and in a golf club that I really well know since growing up in the area. I had a really good friend of mine that grew up on that golf course caddying for me, so it was just a great event. Made a top 4 there with a hole out on the last round, last hole, to get that top 4. So that was really, really cool in front of the home crowd.
So when you went back home to Germany, I take it you had a lot of supporters that week?
Yeah. I had a couple friends coming out, my family coming out. It just felt good. It felt a little surreal that I was suddenly a pro player. I felt like I was just playing another, league event. Suddenly it was more individual, right? A little bigger. There was TV cameras, but I just had so much fun that week. It was just really cool to see, and finally started holing some shots, not just putts. And it felt good to have everybody there.
Yeah, that German Masters wasn't won by a former podcast guest, was it? I think it was. I think it was Maya Stark, was it?
That was a really cool start. Yeah.
No, sorry. I think it was Maya Stark that won.
Maya Stark. Yes, she did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was saying that it wasn't won by a former podcast guest. Oh wait, mm-hmm. It was.
That's right.
So, and then you go back onto the Epson Tour and you get a sole third at the French Lick Charity Classic, and then follow up with a tied 12th and a 4th place finish as well. So I take it, is it fair to say maybe, the top 5 finish back home gave you confidence?
Yeah, it kind of showed me to just have fun with it, honestly, and not think about it too much, just because so right when I came back from that German event, Q School first stage was around the corner, and you have to be inside the top 125 on Epson rankings to skip that first stage, right? So I had to make a decent finish, I think, in that French Lick event to make it. I was a little worried about it, but I also tried not to think about it because, on one hand, I really didn't want to go back to first stage because I only had played 3 or 4 events by then. I think 3 events on Epson. That was, I think, my third event before that reshuffle and the first stage. And I had a friend of mine on the bag. Luckily, that was fun and made the cut on the number. And then had a really, really good weekend. I think I was kind of in the right. Sometimes you have a better shuffle and sometimes the worst. That was definitely a week where I would say I was in a better mix. Like I think I was late early or something. And the other wave had a little more trouble with the weather. There was a lot of rain that week. And a lot of I think the other wave had to play 36 in one day, stuff like that. It was just a lot. And that course is, I don't know if whoever knows French, that course is just ups and downs and right and left. It's just so hard, so windy, kind of links course-ish, but just super, super hilly. So I felt terrible for the girls that didn't have a caddy that week. It was just a lot. But yeah, I had a really good weekend, had fun with it, made some putts and came in, I think it was top 3, right? And that bumped me not just inside the top 125, but all the way up in the top 35, which at that point meant I would go to third stage if I would stay inside the top 35. So that was a huge bump up and definitely a good week for me.
So in 2023, you gained several starts on the LPGA Tour and also made your major debut as well. So before we go into the Chevron, tied 13th in the Lalla Meryem Cup on the Ladies European Tour in Morocco. What was that experience like to start the season in Morocco?
It was good. It was a fun event. I liked that in Morocco. It was, I mean, the senior tour is right next to it, the Champions Tour. The Champions Tour was right there. We were sharing a range. That was kind of cool. And full golf course. Just very much a fun week. I don't remember exactly my game from that week since it's been 2 years, but it was a nice experience. I liked it.
And obviously, it's fair to say that you haven't really had that much experience with the Ladies European Tour. So I take it whenever you get a chance to start on the Ladies European Tour, it's just something you enjoy and just try, obviously play the best skill.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it always feels a little more casual on Ladies European Tour. I feel like most girls say that it's a little more laid back, you hear a little more chatters on the greens and on the practice facility. And everybody seems a little more friendly, not so dialed in. To be fair, I do like it on LPGA where everybody's focused on their own thing because that's just what the business is about. In the end of the day, you need to, play your best and whatever gets you there, that's what you need to do. But it is definitely fun to sometimes get back on LET and, even this year play some time there and just make sure I have the fun in the game, don't forget why I do this and why I'm out there and just put that first and the rest kind of will follow. So just enjoy the game.
So to make your major debut in 2023 at the Chevron, I imagine from a personal point of view, it must have been a fantastic achievement. That's what you worked your whole career toward.
It was incredible. It felt surreal to be there. Never seen a course in such perfect shape as that course was. The Carlton Woods. Yeah. Greens were so fast. Rough was high. It was, just incredible to be there and be inside the ropes and belong in that field, right? That was just really, really incredible. It was so fun. It was a lot of emotions and
Yeah, so when it comes to major championship golf compared to obviously the events you get on tour every year, etc., the other events, obviously there's just that little bit of more prestige when it comes to the major championships. What is it with major championship golf that just gets every female professional just so excited inside? I take it's just the way they set it up, isn't it? It's it's first class.
Yeah, it's everything about it. You you feel like you belong there, you're welcome, everything's set up just for you players. You get a courtesy car. it's the little things that matter in the major that make you feel so special that week, like the courtesy cars and the dining experience and the grass being absolutely perfect on the range, on the course, on the greens. It feels like every piece of grass was cut by hand, right? Like it just, everything is so in perfect shape. And I've never seen anything like it growing up. So that's just incredible to be able to play on this type of grass and this type of perfect golf course. And the hospitality, the people, everybody just treats you special. And the fans out there, the kids that look up to you on your signature, just, the crowds are bigger. It's just an incredible experience to be inside the ropes and playing in such a field.
Yeah, and obviously some professional female players may not even get the chance to, experience it once, but for you to, go back again the next year to the Chevron, yeah, as I keep saying, I can only imagine personal pride must be sky high.
Absolutely. Yeah. By then I felt more comfortable. It's slowly like starting to settle in, get a little bit more normal, but still just being treated so, like incredible, like a professional golfer, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that might be how the PGA players are treated every week, but for us, this is just a special week because we're treated absolutely perfectly as a pro golfer, and it's really, really fun, really cool, always a great week. Yeah.
I just want to quickly jump from last year to Sahalee for the KPMG PGA Championship, obviously another major championship. Obviously, the aerial shots that you got on the coverage as well, looked absolutely crazy. The size of the trees and stuff at Sahalee. Was that a place that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was a little scary, just especially knowing my game and knowing I happen to be sometimes a little right, a little left. It was definitely at first a little scary, but driving into that facility, I mean, it's a golf course with gates and like people living there, so there's homes around. But yeah, you drive into that gate and you're just in a different world. Like it feels like you're on a different planet even. You're driving in and there's these high like I would say, I guess it's like pine trees, but they're so high that you almost feel like you don't really see the sky much. And you're just in this tunnel driving down the street and turning into the golf course, and it's just beautiful. The air smells different because it's Washington. Right, like you're just in the trees close to the mountains. It just feels so fresh and nice. Not like a hiker. But yeah, and then every hole on this golf course, you just always have that, you gotta have that tunnel vision because there's nothing else but the trees. Some holes almost, I don't want to say seem impossible, but just yeah, so different from any course I've ever seen before. I really liked it. It was such a great challenge, especially for my game. I'm still working on that fairway finder with my driver a little bit. It worked out okay, maybe not great that week, but okay. And it was definitely a start. But courses like that really make you understand what you need to work on in your game and how to, hit golf shots into tight corners and make a good strategy for your game. So definitely a good learning week.
Yeah, so from the few starts that you've had at major championships, like I take it with every major championship, it's just an extra learning curve. For maybe the next time that you get a chance to tee up at a major championship, it's just all experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty much every tournament I play is just another experience. I learn more from the tournaments that I actually don't do as well in, just because there's more to learn from it, right? But there's not one tournament I've played in the past that I haven't learned from. There's always something to take from it. And that's something I work with my mental coach on, as well as like review tournaments. What have I done good? What have I done not so good? Why have I not done so good? And what can I do better next time? And getting better at journaling and writing things down. And I would say even if I don't make a cut, I'm still a better player walking out of that tournament because I have that knowledge then and know better for the next time, the next situation.
Speaking about courses, you do get on well at is the course at Portland Classic, where over the 2 years you've had a tie 41st in 2023, and then last year I believe it was your career best on the LPGA Tour, tied 5th at the Portland Classic. What is it about Portland?
I can't really tell you. I honestly didn't think it would be my course. It's a little shorter setup, and usually shorter courses are not like my advantage, right? Because I would want courses that are extra long where I can hit a lot of drivers off the tee. That would be for me an advantage. Portland is not so much one of those. I think maybe that's a course where I hit driver 4 or 5 times around, maybe a little more. But a lot of 2-irons. I remember a lot of just layups from the tee, I would say, and just good wedges into the green. What really worked for me that week last year was the putter. I think that's a good example for how much I can make up if my putter is actually doing well. And yeah, I just putted really, really good that week, made a lot of putts. Just felt really comfortable over the ball there and hit some really good wedge shots as well. Didn't really make any mistakes from the tee. And yeah, there you go. There you have the T5.
You make it sound so easy, like it's the easiest thing in the world. So I take it when it comes to your putting, would you say that's your most glaring weakness?
I wouldn't say my biggest weakness. I would say I can make up the most if my putter is going well. Like if I have a good putting week, it's hard to miss a cut, I would say. But putting is always a hit or miss too. Sometimes, some days you wake up and you make everything, and some days you don't. Working a lot on my mental game and the putting, just because, I always know when I'm stepping over the ball on my drives that I'm already the longest hitter and I'm a bomber and I have a good feeling off the tee because I know that, right? And I'm working on that same feeling over a putt. Like, why can't I just automatically feel like I'm the best putter? Maybe there's not the stats to back that up, but I certainly had really good putting weeks. So I'm working on that confidence of, okay, I want to step into that ball and know that I can make it. So I've set myself some goals. One of it is I don't want to step into a 15-footer or less unless I know I can make it. So that's a big one. And whenever I do have that in the back of my mind, I putt better automatically. So
I just want to kind of end this maybe in about 5 minutes. So just kind of know a little bit about you. So in terms of like holes in one, like how many hole in ones have you had? Like in your whole career or like practice or?
None.
None.
But that's okay. Well, I always said in college when my coaches asked me, I always said, nope, it's not going to happen here. It's going to happen when I have a really nice car sitting behind me. I can take it home with me. So still waiting for that moment. I did have a few cars here and there behind me, but I guess it wasn't just nice enough just yet to make one. So yeah.
So you've had 2 weeks in a row of Ford sponsoring the event. You've had Ford New South Wales Open in Wollongong, and you've had the Ford the Ford Championship in Phoenix, Arizona. Are you still not managed to get the whole one?
Not yet. No, we even had a Lamborghini and Pelican standing behind us, and but that was just the lease, to be fair. But even then, I was like, nope, not just yet. Still waiting on it.
Well, fingers crossed one day it'll happen. Like,
yes, I wouldn't want to die without one, but if I'll be the next longest driving champion again, that's okay too. Then I'll just take that for me.
So when you're on the range or on a workout, have you got like a certain routine? So have you got like in terms of like a playlist? Well, have you got a gym playlist at all, or a range playlist, like music-wise, or?
For golf, I'm still trying to figure it out what I need. I always thought before a round I needed like a pump-up song. Now I'm kind of debating if I need, so I'm all over or all about like keeping my game very level and even. So my emotions very level and even throughout the round, because that seemed to be working out best for me. So I wonder, I might switch my playlist a little bit more towards like more chill music. I love remixes and beat drops and all that. But it might not be the best before the round. But it's definitely something for my workouts. I need a lot of like hype music, a little bit of a rave for workouts. Otherwise I can't really get in the mood of it, especially when I was tired. I mean, I work out in the evenings and that's after a long practice day. Right. I'm usually tired. I'm ready to cook and like wind down. And so I definitely need something that gets me pumped. So yeah, remixes, drop downs, like I would say I have a really solid workout playlist. I'm adding constantly to it and I'm always down for recommendations as well. But other than that, and that's probably the German in me as well, right? Like I need that little bit of techno in there, like all of it. But yeah, for the range, I'm actually tempted lately to go a little more instrumental. Like still, there's some EDM instrumental music, but maybe less vocals, just so I can still focus on what I'm doing. But do shout out like the environment as well and just be in my zone and do my thing.
Yeah, the listeners won't be able to see my reactions here, but I've got both hands in the air with the German with the German raid music. Wow! So
yes, exactly. And then I mean, yeah, I would say I'm that person that has a playlist for every single mood and every single moment in my life. For drives in the car, for drives with others in the car. Like I'm listening to German rap. I'm listening to 2000s to sing along. I'm listening to American rap, pretty much everything. I even started country and I never thought I would do that one. But I guess Alabama didn't just go by me. I still had to become some point someone who listens to a little bit of country at least.
Have you got a karaoke song that maybe comes out every so often? A karaoke song?
No, I think I shouldn't really be a singer in public. I don't want to hurt the people around me. So no, that will stay hidden in the car.
just save it for the shower or the bath or whatever. Or just like, well, to be fair, I would say I'm a pretty good shower singer, to be honest. So yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Because no one else needs to hear it. That's why it all comes out, So
fair.
And in terms of other sports, are you a big sports fanatic as well? Like in terms of it could be like other sports teams or like tennis or football or stuff like that. Have you got any other sporting interests?
So as far as it goes for watching other sports, not really, unless it's in person. I mean, I love to go to a football game in Alabama or watch a basketball game here in Orlando, the Magics. So I feel like that in-person experience or even a soccer game back home, like if it's in person, it's great. On the TV, maybe not so much unless it's a big group of friends, and it's a get together. But other than that, not really much into watching sports. But I did grow up with a lot of different sports. I used to ski growing up and I loved skiing. It just got a little dangerous for, considering that golfing was becoming my career. But I played tennis for a whole long time, like maybe from 6 to probably 14 or so, and still love to play it whenever I can. That's why probably pickleball sometimes works too. I still have the skills from tennis, so that works. And played volleyball in high school, really loved volleyball. Even like when I have the chance, I would love to play beach volleyball every now and then with friends. And yeah, just overall, I would say I'm a pretty active person. I love going hiking, or I don't know if that's considered a sport or not, but even that, or mountain biking. And yeah.
Wow. I mean, that seems like a common answer with golfers, to be honest. Like tennis seems to be a massive one for some reason. I don't know. Like quite a lot of golfers seem to have good experience with tennis. Interesting.
I feel like it's a good balance, especially if you start out as a kid. So you get the running in on the tennis side of things. Like tennis once a week or twice a week would just get me going. Like I would have an hour of like running to the ball and stop and go and always active, right? And then tennis or golf, you kind of wind down. You got to like focus. It's more about your mental game. And maybe for a kid, not as like exciting as a running sport. So I feel like you need the balance of both. But people do say that people or kids who come from hockey are actually really good golfers because tennis kind of messes up your swing a little bit because of that topspin swing versus hockey, you kind of get a little better like basics from it, I would say. But yeah.
So obviously, I'm going to finish it off with so in terms of your schedule, the next few events, what's that looking like for yourself? Like with conditional status on the LPGA?
Right. I mean, a lot of things are very open in the air, and I've gotten that question so many times this year and end of last year already. Like, what does your schedule look like? Where are you going to be in June, July, August? You know. And I always say, you know what, it could be anywhere in the world, considering that LET is anywhere in the world and LPGA, well, I don't know if I'm getting in. But as for now, I'm going to LA in 2 weeks to play on the LPGA, the JM Eagle. Then deciding on that event, I'll hopefully go to the Chevron Championship. That major is the week after in Texas. From there, we're going to Utah, which I'm pretty sure I should be getting in to play. It's a new event in Black Desert, so I'm excited for that one. And from there, it's Mizuho the week after in Jersey. However, I won't be in that one, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to fly to Korea with the LET and playing Aramco in Korea. So I'm excited for that one.
Nice. Obviously, the Aramco Team Series event, they seem to be very luxurious. Certainly with the biggest purses on the Ladies European Tour events, anyway. So, yeah, they always sound good, to be honest. So, yeah, South Korea sounds interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I think that should be pretty fun. I've never been, so I'm really excited. And I actually just asked my brother, since he's just finished up his medical degree and he's looking for a job at the moment, but he doesn't have one just yet. So he is pretty open. And I was like, hey, would you want to come to Korea with me? And he was like, are you crazy? I'm like, well, yeah, you know that. And, next thing he says, you know what? I thought about it and it would actually be really, really cool. So I think we'll meet in Korea.
Oh, that sounds great. And I imagine not yourself, but like even your brother will have like an amazing experience. So yeah, well, that's definitely an exciting time ahead. But Paulie, like obviously we spoke a while now, and I'll let you to get on with the rest of your evening. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on, and hopefully all the best in trying to keep your card for 2026 season next year. And if you do go onto the LET at any point, well, obviously best of luck on the Ladies European Tour as well. So yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me today, and it's really fun talking to you. And loved it.
I mean, not everybody says that when it comes to the Scottish accent, but we're all good. We're all good. Right, Paulie, thank you very much, and all the best for the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thank you so much.